know that the Lord, He is God. It is He who made us, and we are His. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. Enter His gates with thanksgiving and His courts with praise. Give thanks to Him. Bless His name. For the Lord is good. His steadfast love endures forever, and His faithfulness to all generations. Lord, I pray that you be with Commissioner Robinson and Blake Beck in their absence. Pray for this commission in general. They're your vessels, Lord. I pray that you will use them as vessels of honor and help me to serve them as though I'm serving you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Commissioner Warren.
Here.
2, 3,
Here.
4, here, 5.
Here.
No, Commissioner Pugh is on a trip for the county. On our consent agenda, do I hear a motion that we accept the minutes of June 9th?
Madam Chair.
Oh, yeah. Public comment, set of Adam Mathis, and we'll usually give you 3 minutes to.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, I'm Adam Mathis. I'm a resident of Sandy Creek Estates. There's a lot of rumor and innuendo going on about development near the Dare Park area, and I'm just here to try to separate that and get some facts. It is my understanding that an improvement district has been approved. Is that correct? That is correct. Is a tourism improvement district, a self-help improvement district, or what type of improvement district?
It is a business district.
Business, okay, just general business. Has there been any business approved to improve upon that tract of land?
No, sir.
So nothing is approved yet? Okay. Any discussions of incentives to draw business to the area?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. And no studies regarding environmental plans, sewage collection, road improvements, anything like that on the area yet?
No, sir.
No public stuff, yeah, we don't know what the problem is.
Right, but nothing,
No.
nothing.
Our answer is what's pertaining to this, we can't speak.
Okay. But nothing in public record of their mission?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, that gets me my question started, and I'll be attending future meetings as they, more information becomes available. Thank you.
Can I speak?
Yes, sir.
My name's Shane West. I represent the Lake Martin, Sandy Creek area HOA. We're about 600 members strong. I wanted to get clear about some things that seemed to be confused in the last time we met with several people that are in this room. We formed about 2 years ago, and it was specifically in opposition to a condo unit that's going to be built on Arrowhead Lane. We were fortunate enough to find some problems with that land that stopped the development of that. Since then, another condo proposal came up and a marina, both of which we were able to fight off, but it's become evident early in this formation of this HOA, we had to do something that would more permanently protect the character of the Lake Martin Sandy Creek area. And specifically to stop high-density housing in the area. We found that annexation would probably be the best way we could do it. We worked with Dave Little, Chad Harrison, the Planning and Zoning Committee for over a year, working on a plan to annex. That came to a point that Ed Oliver worked with us that entire time. Chad Harrison, who we, of course, not with us anymore, so our city attorney was a big help and a big proponent of it. We were able to take that to city council and get approved for annexation. Ed Oliver was presenting it in the legislature when he found out that there was strong opposition by Talmadge County, and I think Senator Jack Hogan was part of that. So he was surprised, we were surprised, met to find out what was going on, we were blindsided by this. And a couple weeks later, Dadeville rescinded annexation. So that's the timeline. You guys surprised us, we're not trying to surprise you. So we want to go forward with annexation, and we hope that the new council and government control will be able to accomplish that. But we don't want to start out in a bad way with Calhoun County. We never had an intention of spoiling anything that's happening on Youngstown Road. We all know what's happening on Youngstown Road, but, and I know we'll get into that later. Just want to get that out there. If you have any questions for me,
I'll address the annexation issue. You know, it all, like you said, it started with the condos and the small areas in the creek. And the presentation that was presented to us is it was going to be a small annexation that involved 15 to 20 houses or so. And those people were willing to come into the city limits. That was what we were told.
who told you that, John?
Different people back and forth.
That was never a good thing.
Okay. That was our assumption. 2 weeks into the legislation, we get a call. There is a map that's being presented that affected almost 600 residents. We came and looked at the map. The proposal that was going to be introduced into the legislature annexed the properties, but left all the infrastructure and the roads outside the city limits. That annexation was detrimental to the county to maintain this infrastructure, but the roads, 60, 70 miles worth of roads, with absolutely no income in that area. That put all the burden on the city of Dayton. I don't think that the city of Dayton realized that that was going to be part of their annexation.
What income do you stand to lose? The VRBOs and Airbnb?
They have loan taxes, Airbnbs, that's the magnitude.
I understand that's.
It's not an extreme amount of money.
What we were talking about, what we were told is our taxes will increase. We don't pay less to the county, we just pay an addition to the city.
Yes.
So that loan tax would be lost.
They would be lost on our end of the county,
How is that?
because the majority of it go to the city.
But we still are in Calhoun County, we still be paying the tax.
Yes, sir, but the city, whoever who annexes those roads are taking responsibility for those roads. Statute says that. If you annex the property, it belongs to the city. We never said that we wouldn't maintain it. All we said was, is if you annex it, then that infrastructure belongs to the city. It was not in the annexation. There was a map, I got a copy of the map. It draws every road down there, the city limits comes up to the right of way on both sides of the road. Leaves that entirely for us. That was our main objection. And it was already introduced as local bill. I called Jay Hovey and Ed Oliver myself in opposition. When I had called Mr. Hovey, our state senator, he was not aware of the large annexations of that point either. As a matter of fact, he said his house was in it, he was not even aware that it was even happening. So, you know, we didn't say we come in here to blindside anybody on the annexation. We just didn't agree and didn't have time to oppose it without really getting involved in it while it was in the legislature. So, we can't stop you from the annexation. We just want to make sure where everybody stands on what they're responsible for. You know, what we do with the Airbnb taxes that we collect, one of the things that we do is to subsidize contractors 60% of it comes from the surrounding areas of the lake. Highway 63, dumpster down there. Tonnage is available. I introduced it last week, one of the talk shows. It's there. It shows the cost. The one down here at Stillwater's, the one at Mulligan Loop, accounts for probably 50 to 60% of the tonnage that goes into those dumpsters. Without those funds, we're keeping millions of pounds of trash out of the lake.
So a proposed annexation still gives you those funds. The work around that problem. Is that something that,
Yeah, there is workable things to do. It was not workable on our end whenever it was dropped at the legislature this last time. So, I mean, any cooperation between the county, the cities, we're here to work together, but we can't just say, hey, we're gonna keep up the infrastructure of the city. We don't do Elk cities, we don't do Dayton. We're in a position where we have to do the small municipalities, Jackson Gap, Usite, Davis, but there's a statute that covers that. But I can't tell what the city of Dayton's gonna do with their finances in the future. But you annex that, you're gonna have extra police, fire, trash, it's all there.
you see the problem we have is that unincorporated is also unrestricted. Everything in Calhoun is unrestricted. It's Wild West out there. This new project down on Young's Ferry. I'm hoping that you guys are as concerned as we are about some of the negative effects that has, and if the citizens, and if it's good for Lake Martin in general. When you look at safety, you look at 180 boat slips. That's a problem for everybody in this area, I think. We've checked with a similar up in Lake Lanier, the same people who are doing this, and everybody that we've discussed through those associations up there hates it. It's a giant party all the time. Restaurant's terrible, it's just a horrible place. So we don't want to turn, this is where we stand. With all this unrestricted land, all these ideas, we don't want to become a Lake Lanier. It's not good for Alex City, it's not good for Tallapoosa County, it's not good for Dayton. In the short term, maybe, but it's gonna hurt us all when Lake Martin gets to be like Lake Lanier. It's just too crowded to enjoy safety. What do you think?
A lot to do with it. I don't fish like one,
Yeah, it's wonderful right now. Big comparison. Anyway, thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
One brief question. Matt Campbell, also, citizen and neighbor on the lake, such as that. Are we aware of any meeting that is going to be held or sponsored by the county commission or LNAD or whoever it might be, where the citizens would be told about this, Camp Margaritaville project and, understand what's going on with it, and also where their comments would be heard. We don't have that now, but do you know whether we're going to have a public meeting that would be sponsored by the county?
I don't know that we'll have one sponsored by the county, but I think ADM, will have. Thomas, what others agree?
I mean, there's nothing pending for us. The only thing the commission voted on was the improvement district. There's nothing else pending. So, when applications are made for ADM sewage, I think they've got some public hearing requirements. If there are subdivision regs, if there are requests for, some sort of alterations to a subdivision reg, in all likelihood, we could potentially have a public hearing for that. But there's nothing pending before us right now in any form that requires action.
I wish I could check, or you could check to see if ADM, which we presume, of course, that's one of our, guys like Lake Watch and Lake Martin, and all the citizens, we all realize that we got a very logical concern that Camp Margaritaville is gonna make an awful lot of waste, and that I don't know how and what it shows on the little proposed plan is that the sewage waste would go into the ground in the form of no doubt a community system, which ADM would have to approve. but I haven't seen where ADEM has any discretion about that so far as, or would have a public meeting to determine whether the citizens want the project, but rather they just be looking at it from an engineering point of view and see if they can do it. And so I'm just wishing that I knew whether ADEM was actually gonna have to have a public, comment period, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you may know.
Amy,
I
Becky,
don't
do
know.
you know that?
No, public health, we don't. If we get applications in for large flow systems, I mean, if it meets the regulations, they get issued.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
we only handle up to 15,000 gallons, so everything else above that with a part this big would be, go through ADM, so.
Yeah, and I'm sure they do a great job, but that's not quite the same thing. And it was mentioned that Alabama Power, if this thing's gonna propose to have, use the shoreline and the lake bottom for, boat slips, well, then they're gonna have to actually get, FERC approval with, through an Alabama Power, application to FERC, and that certainly does, provide for public comment. But the trouble with that is that comes really pretty far down the line, after these guys have already spent millions of dollars doing this, that, and the other, and got their heart set on this place. That's almost too late for public, comment, public opposition, if it's gonna be, opposed. And our first response from the public has been negative, frankly. We've received our HOA has received probably 40 or more comments from people already that all opposed to it, and plenty of them are kind of emphatically opposed to it. So this is where we kind of see this going, and we gotta get, the public needs to have an opportunity to make itself known, and the county, also, doesn't want to be unaware of that public position. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, any public comments from other officials?
I do wanna give a small update. Last commission meeting, you guys, approved the insolvents and everything for my final settlement. Final settlement was approved. Out of $32 million, we were 2 cents off, which is probably rounding, so glad to say it was a good final settlement. Also, for the first time this year, you guys approved on the insolvencies that they would not be able to purchase a business license until they caught up their, past due taxes. So we mailed out notices to the city of Biloxi, Tallahassee, and the county. So hopefully we'll see some funds come in before October on those businesses. Yeah.
Madam Chairman, I got a couple things. I wanna personally thank all the first responders that responded to the explosion that happened on July 4th at Blue Creek. Very, very, particular situation there, and they handled it very professionally, and I think probably helped save lives. Also, I'd like to recognize the decades, not decades,
reappointment of Robert Martin to the Hackett Water Authority Board. Commissioner McKellar.
I make a motion we approve, we have a letter from them, take executive session. Second.
All in favor? Authorize the sheriff's office to seek bids for the inmate telephone system, Sheriff Adams.
Yeah, this, our contract, runs out this year, October one, it's time for us to put out bids for that, just, approval from the commission to go out for bids prior to our 25-26 budget.
Make a motion to do it.
Second.
All in favor? Appoint a commissioner to the ACCA Legislative Committee.
I've been voluntold the last 5 years, so yeah, I'll be voluntold again.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Commissioner Copeland.
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor? Approve budget amendment to the CRAF fund, Joseph Montgomery.
Asking that we amend the 2025 budget to increase the operating transfer from the County Rebuild Alabama Fund to the gasoline fund from 200,000 to 350,000. This will pay for all costs spent after October 1st for the bridge replacement on Hodges Road over North Fork to Sandy Creek. I think I've told y'all that FEMA owes us $350,000 at this point. I don't think we'll receive those funds this fiscal year, so this will cover that cost.
Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Approve resolution seeking a grant for a van at the 43 Nutrition Center. Emily.
This is a grant for the Alabama Department of Transportation. It requires a 20% match, and we estimate the cost to be between $25,000 and $35,000. The van that, is currently used down there was purchased in 2013, so I recommend that you approve the resolution, for the grant.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Approve the, authorize the sheriff's office to apply for a grant for that, Sheriff Adams.
Yeah, the timeline is July the 31st, that we get the opportunity to apply for it, we may not apply for it. It's a $150,000, top out with no cost to the county.
I make a motion to approve.
All in favor? There's no executive session.
This is item K.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, under item K, we have a resolution, Ms. Pruitt, you have it right?
I'm here.
Good. Could you come up and tell us about, what you hope to accomplish?
I will. We actually had a directors meeting, a mandatory directors meeting with Community Corrections the beginning of June. And they asked all the directors, because there's been no increase in the budget line item for Community Corrections through the state of Alabama since 2021, they're asking for more money. And we are asking our legislators to back us in getting that extra funding for CCP. Right now, CCP's housing over 4,000 inmates in its program in the entire state. So CCP pulled in, we would be able to max out the Elmore County facility that they're just being done producing. So they're asking for an increase of from 14.1 million to 25 million. And that is mainly, the biggest reason that they're asking for that is because back in 2023, they increased the rate per day for supervision from $10 a day per inmate to $15 a day, with no more money from the state.
How many do we get?
53 right now.
And you're simply asking the commission to execute this letter of request to
Correct.
to Senator Hope.
Yes, and it's not only Calaveras County, like I said, every director across the state has been asked to put something in
To
front
have
of their
that
commission, yes, to ask for that